Achilles was the most legendary warrior of ancient Greece and the greatest hero of the Trojan War. His name became a symbol of courage, unmatched strength, and everlasting glory. Yet his story is more than one of heroism. It is a tale of love, rage, friendship, and a destiny that no one could escape. Achilles was born to King Peleus and the sea goddess Thetis. From the moment he was born, a prophecy foretold that he would become the greatest warrior of all time, but his life would be short. Fearing this fate, his mother tried to protect him. According to the most famous legend, she dipped him into the waters of the river Styx, which granted invulnerability. However, she held him by his heel, leaving that single spot unprotected. From this myth comes the famous expression, Achilles' heel. As a child, Achilles was sent to Mount Pelion, where he was raised by the wise centaur Chiron. There, he learned to master the spear, bow, and sword, as well as hunting, horseback riding, and the healing of wounds. Chiron trained him not only to become an unstoppable warrior, but also a man of honor, discipline, and wisdom. Years later, Thetis learned that the Trojan War was approaching. The prophecy was clear. If Achilles sailed to Troy, he would earn eternal glory but lose his life. If he stayed home, he would live a long life, but his name would be forgotten. Hoping to save him, she hid him on the island of Skyros, disguised among the daughters of King Lycomedes. The Greek leaders, however, knew they could never defeat Troy without Achilles. Odysseus devised a clever plan. Disguised as a merchant, he laid out jewelry, fine clothing, and weapons before the young women. When a war trumpet suddenly sounded, every girl panicked, except one. Achilles instinctively reached for a spear and shield, revealing his true identity. Accepting his destiny, Achilles gathered his fearless Myrmidons and sailed to Troy alongside the other Greek kings. From his very first battles, he proved himself invincible. No warrior could stand against him. But the war dragged on for years. In its 10th year, a bitter conflict erupted between Achilles and the Greek commander Agamemnon. Agamemnon seized Briseis, the woman who had been awarded to Achilles as a prize of war. Deeply insulted, Achilles withdrew from the battlefield and refused to fight. Without Achilles, the Trojans gained the upper hand. Hector, Troy's greatest prince and champion, led his army all the way to the Greek ships. The Greeks stood on the brink of total defeat. Seeing the desperate situation, Achilles' closest friend, Patroclus, begged him to return to battle. Achilles refused, but allowed Patroclus to wear his armor, hoping the Trojans would mistake him for Achilles and retreat. Patroclus fought bravely, but he eventually faced Hector in single combat. After a fierce duel, Hector killed him. When news of Patroclus's death reached Achilles, his grief was unbearable. His sorrow turned into uncontrollable rage. He reconciled with Agamemnon and donned a magnificent new suit of armor, said by legend to have been forged by the god Hephaestus himself. Then he returned to the battlefield. The entire army watched as Achilles searched for Hector. When the two greatest warriors finally met before the walls of Troy, one of history's most legendary duels began. Hector fought with extraordinary courage, but Achilles was unstoppable. With one devastating strike, he killed the Trojan prince. Blinded by fury, Achilles tied Hector's body to his chariot and dragged it around the walls of Troy. Even the gods were horrified by his actions. Days later, the aged king Priam secretly entered the Greek camp and knelt before Achilles, begging for his son's body. Moved by the grief of a father, Achilles finally returned Hector's body so it could receive a proper burial. Despite all his victories, Achilles could not escape his fate. Soon afterward, Paris, prince of Troy, fired an arrow that, according to legend, was guided by the god Apollo. The arrow struck Achilles in his heel, the only vulnerable part of his body. The greatest warrior of Greece fell dead. After his death, the Greeks honored Achilles as the greatest hero of the Trojan War. His legendary armor became the object of fierce competition among the Greek champions, and his name lived on forever as the ultimate symbol of courage, strength, and heroic glory. Thousands of years later, the story of Achilles continues to inspire people around the world. His unmatched bravery, his deep friendship with Patroclus, and his tragic destiny have made him one of the most unforgettable heroes in Greek mythology. Perhaps that was the true meaning of the prophecy all along. His life was brief, but his glory became eternal.